sick of it. I hate hearing it.
You hate hearing the 9 to 5 because you wake up to it every morning.
Yeah.
Why do you wake up to it every morning?
Well, just because I thought it was funny at first, like 9 to 5, waking up. Working 9 to 5. Also,
like the thing about like the fingernail.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah. I just didn't like it.
I love Dolly Parton.
It looked gross. Scraping your fingernails together. That's a vibe.
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the very first episode of...
Why are you talking like that? True sense.
Welcome to the very first episode of 2 Cents.
Where I can't smell.
And I can't see color or the color green.
So what does this room look like to you then?
I can see the screen. Okay. What are we talking about today, Matthew?
We are talking about 1980s culture and politics.
Ooh, my favorite. Like Stranger Things.
We're dedicating this episode to Jeremiah. He's really made this semester very special. And this semester would not be a great semester without him. So a round of applause, please.
I don't have an applause sound effect.
Just clap.
Woo!
All right.
Yeah.
If Miss Mize, you end up seeing this, we used our time very productively.
Yeah.
You have your laptop with you. Would you like to talk about Ronald Reagan, your absolute favorite president?
Oh, I love Ronald Reagan.
So much, in fact, that he's getting a tattoo if everyone in our class agrees that is the best podcast they've seen all day. That is factual.
Let's talk about Ronald Reagan, my favorite president of all time.
He won't shut up about it, honestly.
I'm just kidding. I hate him.
How much do you hate him?
On
a scale
no.
of, I don't even know what's a good scale. Broccoli to rutabaga.
If Ronald Reagan was a food, he'd be celery because he's just
all water.
Stringy and old and crunchy, and you're just chewing on him forever.
Part 1, why Ronald Reagan stinks really bad. To Adriana.
Part number 1, why Ronald Reagan is a stinky little bitch. I'm sorry, Mrs. Mize. I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
He's said 10 times that he's going to say that in the podcast. He's not sorry. He's been waiting.
Sorry. Okay, number 1. He
He
supplied weapons to Iraq, even though Saddam Hussein, even though it was widely known that Saddam Hussein was using chemical weapons on civilians. Chemical weapons.
That's no joke.
One time I had to clean up cat pee with bleach. Well, I did.
Oh.
And that's how you create what's that thing called?
Oh,
Mustard gas. Mustard gas. That's not
Agent Orange.
No, I created mustard gas on accident. It's okay. I passed out and I woke up later.
Okay.
Even though the whole world condemned Saddam Hussein for using chemical weapons to kill over 5,000 Kurdish civilians in Iraq.
Holy moly.
The Reagan administration continued to provide weapons and tactical information to Iraq, which Iraq used to target its enemies.
Wait, so why did Reagan supply weapons to Iraq?
You know why?
Why?
Because it was anti-communist. Because we're so focused on being anti-communist, we commit war crimes.
Are you still talking about containment?
Vietnam.
That's not going to make any
the
sense.
Iran-Contra affair. So you know who was fighting then?
Who?
It was Iran and Iraq.
Oh.
And guess what? We supplied weapons to both of them. You know how dumb we are? How dumb that is?
We play both sides.
We can never lose if we do both.
How do you not lose in horse betting? You bet on all the horses.
Exactly. So, the Iran-Contra affair. Okay. It was a clandestine action not approved by the United States Congress. It began In 1985, when President Reagan's administration supplied weapons to Iran, a sworn enemy, in hopes to release American hostages held in Lebanon.
Okay, I didn't follow any of that. Can you like rap it instead?
Lebanon. Terrorists kidnapped. I'm actually a freestyle rapper in my spare time, if you didn't know.
Go check out his SoundCloud. Also, donate to his donation of $30 so he can post his album on Spotify.
Yes.
Because he's constantly complaining about that.
Because I have $1. You want it? You want it?
I would never take your money, Adriano. That's just rude and uncalled for.
So we like gave a bunch of weapons to Iran. Mm-hmm. And then, you know what they did? They released the hostages. And you know what they did? You know what they did?
What did they do?
They kidnapped more people. Number 3. 9/11.
Oh. What does that have to do with the 1980s, Adriano? He's very excited to talk about 9/11, by the way.
I think it was you, Matthew. You did.
What was me? I
did 9/11.
Just because
you were the airplane.
I don't get into conspiracy theories, but
Jeremiah.
My birthday is 4 days after 9/11 and 4 years. Yeah, how many planes were there in 9/11? 4. You thought there was 2. There was 4.
There was 4. Well, no, like 2 hit the Twin Towers. But, like, I don't know, 1 landed in the field. If you were any of the airplanes in 9/11, you'd be that one.
The one in the field?
The one that did nothing.
Rather that than kill thousands of people.
You still killed the people on the plane?
For a good cause.
A good cause?
It's either that or
Yeah.
the Pentagon, I think, or something
No,
like
the
that.
Pentagon did get hit.
White House? What
I think it was like the Congress building or something. It doesn't matter. Who cares about 9/11?
You brought it up.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about 9/11, about 1980s culture?
Because My Chemical Romance.
What?
Because My Chemical Romance,
What's My Chemical Romance?
a band. I'll play some of their songs. Created by Ronald Reagan. Accidentally, because Ronald Reagan caused 9/11.
Jeremiah is
Reagan,
going crazy right now, conspiracy theories.
Ronald Reagan, the Reagan administration armed and supported the Mujahideen rebels in Afghanistan. Those people used that money and resources to create Al-Qaeda.
Movie recording has been stopped automatically.
Huh?
It says on all the cameras, it says moving. Adriano just farted a little bit.
My father took me to the city.
I had a...
Join the black parade.
I listened to that song a lot in middle school.
Of course you did. I bet you had your hair like across your face.
I wasn't emo.
Yes, you were.
No,
I
I
saw
wasn't.
pictures of you. I bet you were bullied enough to be emo.
Future Adriano, first off, second off, pull up the picture that I sent you like a month ago. That was with me at IHOP with my insanely square head.
Look at him. He's so happy and little. Look at. I'll put your face there later. Is that what flavor is that? Whipped cream.
Whipped cream
and strawberries. There was whipped cream on the pancakes. Ronald Reagan calls 9/11 because he funded the Mujahideen and gave them stuff, and they used that stuff.
What's
to
the Mujahideen?
Rebels in Afghanistan.
What did
you know
they have to
why
do
we
with
did
9/11?
it? You know why we did it? Oh, because we're anti-communist.
We're still doing containment in like the 1980s.
Yeah.
That's so silly.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to 9/11.
Matthew loves communism. Look at him. Saddam Hussein. We already talked about him.
I didn't.
But then
catch any of what he said.
when he threatened our oil supply, we're like, oh, I'm not friends with you anymore. Stop! I don't want to play this game anymore. He supported the Philippine dictator Ferdinand Marcos, even after
have
Marcos
trouble
killed his
pronouncing those
political
Spanish
rival
names.
and rigged his election. Just like that, Joe Biden rigging our elections.
Oh boy.
Joe Biden.
I have a couple things.
In
to keep 'em
1986,
going.
when AIDS fatalities were doubling every year, that was when he first started talking about it. In his 6th year of his presidency.
Out of 8, by the way, in case you're confused. I know Ajay was a little confused.
I can't do math.
He thought presidents were for life.
I can't do math.
I know you can't. It's okay. We'll help you
They
through,
could have
buddy.
been until FDR. Well, I mean, if they just kept winning.
Just keep letting him talking for a little bit. Eventually
Yeah.
goes out of steam.
Yeah,
Right.
but like I don't think anybody wants really old presidents.
I want a young guy. Where's all them? Why do we still have to have old
Yeah,
people?
why can't we have sexy young dudes like FDR anymore or Obama?
I knew he
Why do we have just like gross old people as presidents? Like show the picture of Donald Trump like with his butt out.
Show the picture of him at Taco Bell saying, "I love Hispanics."
He wasn't at Taco Bell. He just has Taco Bowl.
Potato,
Hispanics.
I love Hispanics.
Reaganomics.
Reaganomics.
So economic policies put millions of Americans out of work. When he took office in 1981, unemployment was at 7.5% and dropping. A few months after his economic policies took effect, unemployment began to rise again.
No, dang it.
Millions of people continued to lose their job for the next 2 years until unemployment exceeded 10%. It stayed above 10% for nearly a year, peaking at 10.8%. 3 years after he was elected, unemployment was still higher than when he was sworn in.
What I've never understood is why don't they just work?
You know who didn't work?
Joe Biden. God dang it.
Time for confession time.
Dang, dude. You don't have to expose me like that.
Expose you like that picture got exposed of you?
You can only show my face so many times. It has to be 15 minutes and it can't just be my face.
The core idea of Reaganomics is that if we give huge tax cuts and multi-billion-dollar subsidies to billionaires and giant corporations, they will incentivize these job creators to expand the economy and raise prosperity for all around for everybody. And guess what? It didn't work.
Didn't work.
It didn't do crap. It made everyone poor except for the rich people.
Wah, wah.
A recent study from London School of Economics has now totally debunked the Reaganomics notion that tax cuts for rich people incentivize them to create jobs or lead to economic growth. In fact, such tax cuts only serve one single purpose: to move more of a nation's income and wealth from the bottom 99% up to the money bins of the morbidly rich, and they do nothing whatsoever with the overall economy. So in conclusion, Ronald Reagan fucking sucked.
He sucks.
Thing was down.
Anyways, have you ever wished Disneyland had more forced religion?
That's the only thing I could think wrong with it. I feel like it's already a cult. Never mind. I think it's already perfect.
It kind of is. We're going to talk about TV even. God damn it.
Say it. Say the word.
TV evangelism. Evangelism.
Yes.
TV evangelism. Play the clip of the one guy who's so filled with the Holy Spirit that he's just running around the whole chapel.
Let that Holy Ghost language come up out of you. Go ahead.
That's pretty much what we're talking about
This
today.
was me at Disneyland
Yeah.
when I saw Mickey Mouse.
Mucky Mouse. All right. Pretty much Christians.
Boo! I'm kidding. Hi, Gavin.
Reverend.
Reverend.
All right. Christians. God. You love Christians. I know you do. I think
So
you'd be
much. I
happy to know.
love Jesus Christ.
What's his middle name then?
H.
What's the H stand for?
Hubert.
Hubert Christ.
Jesus, Hubert Christ.
Howard be thy name.
It actually stands for Jesus. Jesus Christ.
It's Howard.
Howard.
Anyways, Christians were pretty.
Show a picture of Howard Taft, but looking like Jesus. I'm not even gonna.
Pretty involved with Ronald Reagan's campaigns, both in 80 and 84. Maybe that's why he didn't do anything about the AIDS epidemic. Gotta keep it with them Christians. Not all Christians, but like a good chunk of them back in the day. Oh, so that TV evangelism, not vandalism, which is how I thought it was said. We're gonna talk about Jim and Tammy Faye Baker. Backer. It's Bakker. I don't know if you say Backer or Baker.
K?
Only two Ks.
I don't know.
Y2K?
Christianity and the KKK go hand in hand.
20 years till Y2K. Oh, God. Adriano. These people
Show a
probably
picture
started
of Matthew
Y2K.
as a Klans member. Okay, I'm not gonna do that.
Dude,
I'm not gonna do that. It's okay.
So they were pretty much some TV evangelists. You saw them on TV a lot, essentially, if you're in the 80s. And they were pretty much talking about God and everything. They're in this group.
Show a picture of Kenneth Copeland.
What? Kenneth Copeland?
He's a current one who's scary.
I can't remember what it's called. It's like the TLC or something like that. It's like some Christian club, you know. So they started the PTL club, essentially, to have viewers donate just for the videos. They're like, you like our stuff? You can watch some more of it if you want, but you have to donate. And they're like, okay. And they got millions of dollars from that. Wow. And then they started offering lifetime partnerships because they'd built they had so much money, dude. They bought hotels and a whole bunch of stuff. They really wanted that Christian Disneyland, you know. Pretty much, they sold too many lifetime memberships. Then they had rooms in hotels. So sold more than 66,000 lifetime partnerships, which is more than 100% occupancy in the hotel.
You were about to say that's more than like 65,000.
That's a little bit under 67,000. And yeah, you're right. And so pretty much they were called out, or Jim was called out by this guy, Jimmy Swaggart. It's really confusing. There's two Jims. You got Backer and you got Swaggart. Swaggart called out Backer for...
call him Swaggy Boy so I don't get confused.
Swaggy and Baggy. Baggy Boy, he's a real baddie. He was doing some stuff with a prostitute.
Whoa.
And so
I don't think I'm old enough to hear
Swaggy Boy called him out on it. And he's like, hold up. Wait a minute.
Sorry.
That's not okay. That's not good in the eyes of God, Reverend. And so called him out on it. And so pretty much it went downhill from there. And then also his wife, Tammy Faye Backer, got drug dependent and started doing crazy stuff like stripping naked in the house and running around and doing a whole bunch of stuff.
At 3 a.m. Show a picture of the guy, show a video of the guy running around, but say me at 3 a.m. with no clothes on.
If you can edit Adriano's face on that'd be great.
I can't do that.
Yeah. Okay, so then that just left Swagger. And people think that they called out, Swaggy Boy called out Back Boy because, I'm going to call him Backstreet Boy, because he wanted some of his multi-million dollars. Because, who wouldn't?
What's a Backstreet Boy? What's a Backstreet Boy song?
Backstreet's back, all right.
I think we should create a boy band.
What would you call the boy band? You never include me in any of your bands.
What's
The front side.
Main Street
No,
Men?
Main
All
Road.
right.
Main Street Men. You can check out our shows once again at Hooters or Feet Finder. That's Adriano.
Our first show is going to be on July 40th at the...
Just be honest
At
with
the
them.
school.
February 30th, 2024. It's going to be a little while. So
Does February
mark,
have 29 days?
mark your calendars for February 30th. Thank you.
Is
Right.
that a real day?
No, it's not a real day.
Okay. I don't know. That's why I went with a number that I knew was above. What was?
Then you could have said like 32. What are you doing?
I just lowered my.
All right. Swaggy Boy
Sweaty boy.
was now like top dog in this area for a little bit of time. We brought a whole bunch of spotlight onto him. He was shared in over 2 million homes. Everyone knew who he was.
Whoa.
Every Christian loved him, except if you were gay.
But I don't.
Didn't like the gays. Though Tammy Faye, however, did actually
Tina Fey?
talk about the AIDS epidemic. No, the one, the woman that went crazy and
Oh,
drug dependent
me.
and started
Yes.
stripping like Adriana at 3 a.m.
Yes.
Well, in 1985, a lot of people were fearful of those infected with AIDS/HIV. And she drew attention with her compassionate live interview with this gay pastor with AIDS, Steve Peters.
Steve. Show a
Steven.
picture of Matthew looking like Minecraft Steve. I'm kidding, Matthew. You were so cute as a little kid.
And says, how sad that we as Christians, who are to be the salt of the earth, are so badly afraid of an AIDS patient. Didn't stop anything, though. People are still afraid of AIDS.
I'm listening.
Like, I want like a little clip of Adriano like doing that, like hands under his chin on
Like
his
the-
bed,
the
like
knees.
kicking his feet back and forth.
That's, yeah.
Because he's texting
Also
me
me
at
at
12
3
p.m. Also him at 3 a.m.
We were on a call last night, right, Matthew?
We were. My parents came out because I was sitting in the truck and they thought I was like crying or something because something was wrong because I was out there for so long.
You were.
Anyways, Swaggy Boy. What does that have to do with Swaggy Boy? Turns out Swaggy Boy was also with a prostitute. Oh.
Oh my God.
How do you find that out? Well, he was
Dude, none of these guys can get a girlfriend.
pulled over by the cops one day because of a traffic violation. Pretty dumb, right? Cops these days.
We got pulled over by a cop, but we were already on the side of the road and we didn't have a
So
car.
the cop pulled over for us. We made him our bitch. And so, you know who was in the car?
It's just under the police.
Frick the police coming straight from the underground. So when he was pulled over for that traffic violation, cop, excuse me, can you roll down the window, sir? Rolls down.
Wait.
Excuse me, sir. Can you please roll down your window? Why, certainly, of course. That's what I think a pastor would sound like, honestly.
Wait, dude.
Good. Why, certainly, of course.
So he rolls down the window. It's like, I imagine it's like a crank window, so you gotta like, it takes a little bit.
Kerthunk.
And you know, thunk. The door just falls off the car. And you know who's in the other
Tire
seat?
rolls away.
It's like the Flintstones car at that point. The prostitute was in the car. Okay, so pretty much, he lost in that period $10 million in a defamation lawsuit for those accusations of sexual misconduct. And eventually they settled for court in $1.85 million. These are pastors getting so much money because Christianity had such a huge influence on Reagan in politics. Just for this period, though, because later in the 90s, it would start to die down. It had a bit of influence in some other things, like a couple congressional races, defeating Democrats in Texas, North Carolina, Alabama, and Michigan.
The old. You probably.
I don't know, honestly. It just came out, you know. You can't stop it once it comes out.
Whoa! That's what he said.
And so these ministries, which were essentially companies at this point, Swaggy Boy handed over control of his ministries incorporated to his son, Donnie.
Donnie.
Donald.
Duck.
This is how
Donald
Trump came into power. Just kidding. There's about 40 years difference.
Chicky. I'm putting that in.
That's honestly a whole lot that I have. Just a whole bunch of TV evangelism. Holy cow, I still can't speak. Told you, I'm illiterate, and he can't read. Oh. Anything else you think we need to talk about, Adriano?
No, I don't think so.
There's one more thing we need to bring up, though. Mrs. Mize, you've had a interesting year, to say the least, as you keep saying every time I ask you.
He doesn't know what that means, so.
I know what interesting means.
No, like why it's interesting.
Well, I would like to know why it is interesting, yes. But also, there's something recently that Adriano really has been meaning to tell you. It's that fucking mini fridge that I keep hearing every time I take a test in your class. It's that little... It is so high pitched. It is so annoying that I can't even... You didn't even
That was
play.
perfect.
Yeah. I just can't focus. And so I think in honor of this amazing podcast, as a class, we unplug that mini fridge and chuck it off the roof of Carroll High School into a dumpster, of course, for the safety of the children. That'd really be the best farewell that I could ever have.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I think we should do a little blues
blues.
to wrap it up of all the things we've learned.
Let's get a recap. Our 2 cents. Let's give our 2 cents for today. Evangelism.
And Ronald Reagan.
This is pretty much where Christians began. JK, they're like really old. But still, they're on TV a lot. And if you think that they weren't important, well, that's something wrong you thought.
And Ronald Reagan started 9/11. And My Chemical Romance. And he also supported Saddam Hussein. And other terrorists.
I thought I was going to rhyme it with who aren't in France. Because, like...
Croissant. Baguette. Speak some French for me, Matthew. It makes me feel all romantical. Come on. Speak some French to me.
Je m'appelle Bernard.
Oui, oui.
J'adore fromage.
Croissant.
Mi corazón.
That's Spanish.
Dios mío. Chica.
Hola, me llamo Adriano.
Hola.
Welcome to Telemundo.
Toast senses.
Okay, let's play us out with the song. Sing along to it, Matthew. Give me about whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Came into this podcast. Yeah. Didn't have a plan.
2 cents.
You know what? We got it
2
done.
cents.
2 cents. 2 cents. 2
2
cents.
cents. I can't see color.
I can't smell.
And that makes us like
Two
a quarter of a person.
Adrian said it here. We're not a person.
We do not have rights. Wait, we have to sing this.
We don't have rights.